0.005. Okay, this looks okay to me. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a little label. So let's just simply drop in a rectangle. Make it maybe, I don't know, 2 centimeters by 1 centimeter. So really small. Let's pull this out here. This might be still too big. Let's make it 1 by 0.4. Maybe something like that. Let's click on rounding. The rounding maybe to 0.1. Yes, this looks okay to me. Might still be a little bit big, but I think it's okay. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to put in an Extrude Nurbs. Set this to 0 centimeters right here. And here we can add a little bit of thickness, or really just a little bit, maybe of 0.01. Oh, okay, this is still the wrong direction. Then here, 0.01 centimeter. And this is still too much, and it's also very weird. Maybe let's change the rectangle. Yes. 0.01. Might be still too thick. 0.05 centimeters. Something like that. Okay. This looks okay to me. Let's make this editable. Hit the C key. Hold down the Shift key, select all of those. Objects, connect objects and delete. We also can get rid of those caps. This is our label Alice. Okay. And now I just was searching on the internet for some cartoon. I think it's called in English pasteboard, maybe cardboard. Maybe it's just cartoon in English. And I found the material really quickly on Google. I just simply typed in cartoon, and I think I got, I don't know how many hits, and just simply selected one that I like. Opened up Photoshop. Loaded this material in. I think I still have it. You will also get the material. I think I used this one, if I'm right. Yes, I think I used this one. And then I just simply used the same, I think the same font for this. I just simply made it white and wrote Alice with this little thingy right here. So we'll just simply load this in. Let's take this very advanced material right here. Diffuse layer, load image, Alice label. Yes. And this has for sure absolutely no specularity, because cartoon is too diffuse to have any specularity. So we will leave this. So let's put this on here. Let's go for a cubic mapping. We could also make a rollout right here, but this, like I said, this would be too much work. This wouldn't really be okay. Okay, I can't see the texture. Let's maybe change this here, but this will not change anything probably. Okay, simply if you don't see a texture in your Vray material, simply create a normal Cinema4D material. Go to color and load the same image in the color channel and put it on there, and now we should see it to 100%. Yes, we do see something. Let's lower the length way more, maybe to something like, I don't know, maybe 1%, and also the length U to maybe 1%, and this might be still too big. Let's lower both to 0.5, and now let's change the offset in the V to 0.1, 0.2. We really need to change this slightly, because otherwise it will just jump too far and we won't see anything at all. 0.4. Like I said, I rather play with those values a little bit than anything else, than than doing a UV rollout. Okay, let's change this back to 0.2. As you can see, this is not aligned correctly. Let's go to coordinates and let's flip this. Where do we need to flip this? Or we can just simply activate texture, and then we just simply take the rotate tool, and I think we should be able to rotate this for 90 degrees. Yes. And now we just simply rotated the texture, so let's tick this off. Or let's just jump back into the model mode. Let's go there and let's play again with the offset values. This is just really playing around with those settings, but I think here is it. Here we have it already. 0.7, yes, here we go. 0.8, okay, this is too much. 0.74 maybe. And let's change it here a little bit more. 0.5 is too much. 0.45 maybe. Okay, maybe 0.44. Yes. This looks okay now, I think, but I think the scale is not right. So I need to change this here a little bit more, maybe. 0.4, no, 0.5 is 0.6, maybe like, let's make this a little bit bigger, and this here a little bit smaller. Okay, now we need to search again. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so 0.39 and 0.99, and in the length U 0.6, in the length V 0.4. Okay, the next thing we wanna do is, I normally don't do this, but for this is absolutely okay. We will take a bool object. We could also do this with a nice Hypernurbs modeling, but it's absolutely not necessary to do this, and if it's not necessary, why should we? Okay, the next thing I want to create, okay, the bool I created. The next thing I want to create is a capsule. Let's create a capsule and let's make it really small, like maybe 0.1 centimeter. And let's search for this capsule. Here it is, and I think 0.1 is a little bit too small. Let's make it a little bit bigger, 0.5 centimeters maybe. Okay, this is the height, and the radius should be 0.1 maybe. This might be still too big. Let's flip this for 90 degrees. Simply hold down the shift key if you want to enable snapping while you're rotating. And let's pull this here, and as you can see, this is way too big because we want to cut in a little hole into this label, and this would be way too big. So radius is 0.05. Let's try it with this. Maybe still a little bit too big. 0.04. Let's go with a value of 0.03. The height doesn't really matter. Okay, let's align this perfectly. Maybe around here. I think this should be fine. Maybe let's move it a little bit over. Let's move it here. Okay. Let's add maybe a little bit more segments just to make sure that we get a little bit better bool. Okay, and let's make this editable. Pull in the label Alice and also the capsule. Okay, label Alice should be above. And as you can see, we already get here the hole. We can click on bool and click on hide new edges, so we don't see the messed up geometry. And click on C, and now we delete the capsule. Pull out the label Alice of the bool, null, delete the null. Go into poly mode, select the label, and now we just simply click this and click this, and we'll delete this, and we are good to go. Okay, now we could also close this right here. Okay, I really hate this, because this is open now, right here, I think. But it doesn't really matter. Nobody will ever see this. I mean, this must be a close shot, a close-up shot, something like that, that you might recognize that this is not closed in there. So this is absolutely not necessary to do this. And if you're working in a scene like that, you really need to figure out what is necessary and what is absolutely not necessary. So you don't wanna put in more work than that is really necessary to build up this scene. And this is something that really nobody will ever see, so this is absolutely unnecessary to do anything here. Okay, what is also messed up is the axis, and this is because of the Hyper Nurbs and of the bool. This is why the axis is somewhere else, and I want to align the axis to this label. So let's go to select or tools. I hope this is working this way. I haven't done this in a while, I think. Mesh, axis center, center axis 2. Yes. And now we have our axis in the perfect place again. And now let's move the label to our chord. And let's align it a little bit. I think we also need to rotate this a little bit. Yes, sir. Okay, and I think it's already good like that. Maybe move it a little bit over here. And I don't want to intersect with the bottle. And I don't want to intersect with the chord as well. Let's maybe rotate it a little bit like this. Okay, so everything is fixed now, the label, the chord. Let's do a simple test render. Oh, and we also need to change the label back to the V-Ray material. If you replace the normal Cinema4D material with the V-Ray material, it will take on all the settings here. So it will take on the projection, what is cubic, and will also take on the offset and the length. So if we simply drop this here, you can see nothing has changed. And this is perfect. So let's do the test render. Okay. Yes, okay, the label looks okay. And the chord is really small, but this will change in a second. So let's tick off the light, let's also tick off the camera. Let's bring in a V-Ray bridge to the sweep Nurbs. Let's bring in a V-Ray bridge tag, V-Ray fur. And we want to make this really small. The length, the thickness maybe to 0.01. I think you can't go lower than this anyway. The length will be something like, I don't know, let's say let's start with 0.5. Gravity we will change maybe to a plus value, so maybe something like 9. And the taper we will change a little bit. Direction variation we will up a little bit. Also the length variation. Thickness variation, well, let's leave it at that for now. And we will change to the type to per face, and let's change this maybe to 30. And let's go a little bit closer to the chord and let's see what we get. Now, as you can see, this takes a little bit longer, and this might be because of the V-Ray fur. And okay, this is really way too much. We need to change the length maybe to something like I don't know, maybe to 0.0 1 as well. Let's do a test render again. This might be a little bit too small right now. Yes, this is really too small right now, I think. Okay, the light catch is really working. Maybe I should just disable GI for now. This takes really long. Maybe let's change the length. I already can see that this is not really too great. Maybe let's also save the file, because sometimes if you disturb V-Ray while it's doing the light cache, it can be that it might crashes. So you might want to save the scene. Let's change the length to 0.03, and also let's get rid of the GI for now, and let's do test render again. And we already can see some hair, I think, and this would be perfect for us. Let's see. The rendering is also really slow on V-Ray Fur, but it shouldn't be. Normally it's rendering, I think, really fast. Maybe we have too much hair in the scene. This might be because I clicked on 30 hairs, or I typed in 30 hairs per face, but it should still be okay. Okay, the rendering is really slow. You know what? I will check the right lengths on my own, and I will just simply give you the values when it's finished, because this is absolutely no fun if you're just watching my computer messing up. So I will just simply click on pause and just give you the numbers when I have the right values. Okay, I changed some things. So the length is 0.02, thickness is 0.01 like before, gravity is 9, band is 5.75, tapper is 20, sides are 30. This might be a little bit much, but it's okay, because this is really a small chord. Direction variation is 0.43, length variation is 0.91, thickness variation is 0, and gravity variation is 1. I also changed per face to 10, down from 30. So this should be absolutely okay. So we can tick on GI again, and let's do a test render. And what we also can do, we can change the color of the fur. All we need to do for this is we need to create advanced material and just simply put it on there, and the fur will take on the color from the V-Ray advanced material. For now it's just simply the basic V-Ray gray, if no texture is applied to that. Okay, so I wanna give this a little bit of a different color, so let's create an advanced material and let's make it, maybe, I don't know, let's make it maybe a little bit yellowish, something like that maybe. And we don't need to tick on any specular, because this cord doesn't have any, this is some kind of wool, so this doesn't have any real specularity. So this is kind of diffuse. So let's try it with this texture. might look okay. I don't need to render so much, I don't need to render the whole thing. Just need to render this over here. Okay. Let's see what we get. Yes, I think I also like the color. And I think we need to change the length variation a little bit, maybe to 0.05, and maybe also change the length to 0.01. But we might want to make the chord a little bit thicker, so we can simply do this by going into the circle and make it maybe 0.08, so the chord looks a little bit better, and this is still aligned perfectly, I think. Yes. Let's make a little test render right here, so we don't get any intersections, because the fur will add a little bit geometry to this. But I think we're just fine. Yes, we are. Okay. Let's render this again, and let's see what it looks like. But I think we're already good to go. Okay. Maybe let's change the length to something else, maybe to something like 0.015. Okay, this will give a little bit more. Okay, anyway, the next thing we want to do is we want to set up a nice DOF, and I want to do this with a physical camera, and I also want to move a little bit closer to the bottle. Maybe something like that. Okay, let's add a V-Bridge physical camera tag. Let's set the white balance to neutral. Let's set the vignetting effect to O, because we can do this in post-work anyway. And let's start with an ISO maybe, or with a shutter speed of 100, with an f-stop of 6, and we will just simply add more ISO if we don't get enough brightness in the picture. So let's do a test render, and I think this will be too dark, so we can add more ISO, but maybe not. Doesn't look too bad, but it's a little bit too dark, so let's change the ISO maybe to a value of 800. This might be too bright, but let's see. No, it looks okay, I think. I think this is a value we could take. Okay. So since this is already perfect, I think, let's have a look at the bump on the floor material when the renderer gets around here. So I wanna, because this will, as we set up the DOF, this will be all blurred here, all those areas around here, and only the bottle will be in focus and the floor around here. So I wanna check the bump here, if this is nice enough, if you get enough detail right here. And we could also add another area light, maybe from around here, so it hits the bottle maybe here on the glass, so we get some nice reflections. This might look good as well. And I think I wanna change the floor bump, to be honest. I think I wanna change this to the other direction. But I think it looks okay. I don't know. It's going inwards right now. This should be okay, but it might look a little bit better when it's going outwards. Okay. This might give us a little bit more detail. So I will change this, I think. Let's take off invert. Okay, so let's set up the DOF. The ISO is okay. The light balance is okay. And as you can see, the camera is going way too far. So we go into the camera and change the focus distance to a value of maybe, I don't know, 20 centimeters. It will be around something like this. 14. Okay, 12.5. I want that this knob exactly hits the bottle. Okay, so I think we need a little bit more, maybe 12.6, and this should be okay. Okay, let's tick on the DOF. We will take the basic DOF, so we won't change any blades numbers or bouquet anistrophy. What are all those things doing, like blades rotation, blades numbers? It's the same like in the real world, and you can read this on the internet. Simply search for Vray bouquet anistrophy, and you will get a ton of stuff to check out. Okay, so let me check the DOF. Okay, we also changed a little bit of the camera, I guess, because of the focus distance. And this might also be because of field of view horizontal and field of view vertical. Let me change this to O, and also this to O, 1.2. Okay, no, this was wrong. This was absolutely wrong. I think we just need to move the camera a little bit backwards, maybe to something like that. And now we need to adjust the DOF again. Let's turn off the light so we can see a little bit more. Let's adjust the DOF. Let's pull it somewhere around here. This should be okay. And let's see what we get. Okay, I definitely want to move a little bit closer. This is too far away. Let's correct the DOF again. Maybe around here. Yes. Let's turn on the light. Let's see what we get. This might be still a little bit dark. If it's too dark, we could do this probably. We could also change this a little bit around in post work, or we could also increase the ISO on the camera. We could increase the light, but I would definitely go, because the light was okay before, so I would definitely go with an ISO change. And okay, I think the DOF looks already nice and smooth. Also with those anti-aliasing settings we have applied, and the bottle and the liquid looks also okay, so we don't need to change anything in the anti-aliasing, and it's rendering pretty fast, so I don't think we need to change anything. I mean, I just have an 8 core, so this is really good rendering times right here. And I think I also didn't change the offset, like I said at the beginning of the tutorial here when I applied the wood texture, because the tiling is happening exactly here, and this is a little bit bad. Okay, and as you can see here, the floor is really nice. We don't have any DOF right here. This is absolutely perfect. This is what we want. Let's check if the bottle is also in focus. But it should be. Yes. This looks good. And this is blurred here. This is also perfect. Okay. You can also change the color of the liquid, simply play around with those SSS settings. You can get all kind of liquids in there. I mean, you can pull in some red wine, you could put in some, I don't know, some organic stuff. You really simply need to play around with the SSS. You can also add a noise shader in the SSS, so you get maybe some dots in there, and this might look realistic as well. So yeah, play around with the liquid if you don't like this milky look. And as we can see, this looks absolutely okay, but I think I will increase the bump a little bit more so we get a little bit more detail. And I will also... okay, I will wait for this to finish. I want to see what the cord looks like. And I will also want to see the cork material on the cap. I want to see if this is any good. And we get a real nice DOF over here. This gets really blurred. So this is... so you... the DOF is also nice because you can see the real scale of the scene. So it really looks like, okay, there's coming a light here from the right side. There might be some kind of window, and this bottle is really standing on some kind of table because it's really small and tiny. So this could really be a normal table, and this ends somewhere around over here, and so the scene looks really nice with this DOF. And the cork material looks okay, I think. And the cord material also looks okay to me, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could play around with this cord a little bit more. I don't really... I think I need to add a little bit more segments, because this looks a little bit weird. But everything else looks really fine. I think I will add a little bit more ISO. I think this is really still too dark. Like I said, we could also add this in post work, but I will do it right here. First of all, let me add a little bit more segments right here to the circle. Let's turn off the light. And let's see if we could change it like that. Yes, we can. It doesn't really change much. Well, maybe let's change this to 3. And maybe let's add a little bit. Let's add a length of 0.19. This might be okay. Okay. I also wanna change the wood, like I said, because the tiling is happening right here. This is really cool. So let's do a little offset. Oh, this is definitely the wrong material. Let's do it here. Okay, this should be okay now. And let's increase the bump to 0.02 maybe, so we get a little bit more detail. Specular. I also want to check the specular. This is 76 and this is 79. Okay. I also want to change the ISO, like I said. Let's change the ISO to maybe 1200. Bada boom, bada bam, and let's do a test render again. I think... is there a tiling again? I don't think so, no. I think it's gone now. Let's just check this part right here. So everything that is in the depth of field. And let's see what look we get here. Yes, I think I also like the brightness a little bit more now. And let's check the floor, if you get a little bit more bump and a little bit of more unregular stuff. Like some scratches, so this would look really nice close up. Yeah, there we have some scratches. This looks really nice. Let's see if you get a little bit more. Yeah, I think this is enough detail for us. This looks okay. We also have some scratches here. This looks really nice. We also have a nice specular change in the wood. We added this in the glossiness, so we don't have the same glossiness overall. This is absolutely perfect. Like I said, we could also change the chord a little bit, move the points a little bit more around so it looks a little bit more realistic. But overall, I think I like it. Okay. Yes. Okay, I think I will change the chord a little bit, just a little bit. Let's change the length back to 0. Or maybe let's change to 0.0.17, and let's change the chord a little bit. Let's jump into the circle, go into point mode, and let's hit Control A. Oh, why do I have... Okay. So now we should see some points. Here is a point. Okay, let's move this one around a little bit, because this looks really crazy here. Like I said, with dynamics we might could fix this a little bit better, but I didn't wanna play around with dynamics too much. Okay, this might look okay right now. Anyway, this is just really a matter of taste, I think. Okay, what we didn't need was an UV rollout for this whole scene, so I think I will do a tutorial for this as well. But you can find some really good tutorials on YouTube as well for UV rollouts. We also will do some post work right now on this picture. I don't think we need a lot of post work, but I think we will do a little bit. Anything else I forgot? Yeah, I think I want to add another area light, so we get some nice reflections also right here on the bottle. So let's jump out of the camera, let's deactivate the area light again, and I just simply will duplicate this, rotate it back to 0% and now just move it over like that, maybe a little bit down, and I think we need to move it a little bit over here, and now let's rotate it a little bit like that. And if we do that, I think we should get a nice reflection around here. Let's check it. No, we don't. I think I need to change this a little bit more. Where's the bottle? Here's the bottle. Okay, let's rotate it a little bit back again and move it a little bit over. Okay, maybe now. Let's do a test render. Let's do it! Okay. And I think think we have some reflection now. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think this is the reflection of the area light. This is too... I think I need to move this a little bit more backwards. Maybe rotate it a little bit like that. Okay, let's just enable this one light right here. We could also disable the HDRI for this now, and also the GI, so we only could see the reflection, and we would save probably some render time. Okay, the reflection is still not there where I want the reflection to be. So let's change this a little bit more over here. And let's see it again. And now I think the reflection is there where I want the reflection to be. This is absolutely perfect now. Okay, so I will render this out right now. I will do a final render. Let me check the settings again. I think GI was just fine. Yes, anti-aliasing 2.5. We could increase this. We could also increase the max subdivisions, but I think in the end we had a nice picture with those settings, and it was really rendering really fast. So let's go render to picture viewer. Let's render this out. You can jump this part if you want to. Oh, I think I didn't disable linear workflow. Let's click on Ctrl D and tick off linear workflow, so we get the same result when we go to render to picture viewer. And I think I also, sorry for that, I think I also want to render out some alpha channels, just to, I don't know if I will really use them, but I will show you how you can use them. So for the floor, I will apply a material color, and I will go for a reddish color. For the glass, I will apply a blue color, deep blue. Okay. And for anything else we need, I think what is really important for the liquid, I will apply an green material. Okay. And let's go to multipass, ID buffer, material ID. Let's tick this on. Go to multipass and click on post effects. Perfect. And now we go to save. First of all, output is full HD. Okay, this is okay. And now we save this as an OpenAXR, the regular image, and we will save this in my tutorial section, Alice tut. Okay. And now we will take the multi-layer file, and I will take a TIFF PSD, and let's save this as Alice tut multi. Okay. And we should be good to go. Let's click on render to picture viewer. And if you go now to layers, you should see this MTL ID pass. And soon as it starts to render, we should see something. So let's check this. Okay, still doing the light cache and the pre-passes. Okay. And now we should start to see here something, the floor. So let's change to single pass. Yes, and the floor is already red. Let's change back to image. and as soon as it hits the bottle it should be blue. I'm not sure how this will really work out, because I also gave the liquid a different color, and I'm not sure if this is really working with a material ID, because the liquid is behind the glass, and I don't think I can really control this separately, but we will see. I never tried this before, at least not with a glass, and behind the glass is a liquid, and gave both of those a different color in the material ID. I think this will not work, but yeah. Let's see what we get. Like I said, you can also skip this part and directly go to the After Effects post-work part, and I will let you know what happened with the material ID. I think we could have also make the liquid a little bit scale the liquid a little bit more out, because I think there's a small edge or a small part between the glass and the liquid, so we could have made the liquid a little bit, gave it a little bit more scale, but you can do that if you want to. It doesn't really matter, I think. This might also look a little bit weird because of the DOF, because I think the depth of field starts right here on this edge, and this might also be the problem right here. Okay, let's have a look at the single pass again. Okay, and as you can see, I also get here already some blue and orange edges. The blue is the glass and the orange is the liquid. This might work out. Oh, I think the orange is actually the label, and the blue is the glass. I think this is really and I still have the tiling of the floor right here. I mean, this is a bad joke. Okay, anyway, you know how to fix this tiling right here. So, yeah. Simply change the offset in the wood material a little bit more. I think I should have tried it in a Cinema4D material first, so I could have seen the tiling a little bit better maybe. But this might look also a little bit interesting anyway. This makes me a little bit pissed off right now. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay. And we also get some nice detail down here from the bump. This is also absolutely okay and nice. And we also can see the area light. This is coming from the left direction and hitting the floor right here. This also looks a little bit nice. Okay, let's check the single pass. Okay, so we can see the liquid behind this. I think I would have to deactivate the glass and render out a separate airflow channel only for the liquid only. Then I might have the chance to control it separately from the other layers. yeah, was pretty clear that this wouldn't work out this way. And I think the liquid is just fine. I think this might be really because of the DOF, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, you could also scale out the liquid a little bit more. In After Effects we won't really do so much post work, I think, because the image looks already really well. We could play around a little bit with curves. We could add a little bit of lens dirt. What we will add for sure is some chromatic aberration to make it look even a little bit more realistic. And maybe 2 or 3 other things. We might also add a little bit of a glow to this picture, or maybe some glint or glare, just a little bit, just slightly, to make it look a little bit more realistic maybe. And the floor looks really nice, I think. You get some nice reflections here from the bottle. This is absolutely okay. And the render time will be around like 16 minutes or something like that. For a full HD picture, this is, I think, absolutely okay. Could be worse, to be honest. Might be even a little bit lower render time. Because where the DOF starts, the rendering should also go a little bit faster. And the clean parts are already rendered here on the floor, so this also might be a little bit faster. I guess it's time for another cigarette. And I really hope you like this tutorial so far. I hope it showed you something about lighting and how you can use the environment slot for an HDRI and get a little bit more detail on your shots with area lights. What you can do is that you play around with the intensity a lot. It really depends on your scene scale and how big the area light is. I mean, the area light is compared to the scene now really big, and this is why I got with an intensity of 3, or why I took an intensity of 3. If this would be a really big scene and you have a small area light, you probably need to increase the intensity maybe to 50, maybe to 55, maybe to 100. This really depends on your scene, how big your scene is, and yeah. But I think you can light shots like that, close-up shots, really well like that, and we would have been also be fine with only one area light coming from this right direction. But now we have 2, doesn't really matter. I think a third one would be really a waste of time. I mean, it always depends on how much detail you really want to get on your shot, and we get a lot of detail here on the bottle with the HDRI. We have a nice reflection, and we also have 2 nice reflections with the area lights, and this also creates some nice hotspots on the glass, and we can use those hotspots then later on in After Effects for a nice glint or glare to add, or some glow, and this is really nice. So yeah. And like I said, you can also change the liquid, so if you don't like the white liquid, you can also change it to something else, something that looks a little bit more interesting, or something that is more your taste. You might also wonder why I'm rendering this out with an OpenAXR format. OpenAXR is, I think, the most common standard format for the 3D industry. So I think also all big companies are rendering out their shots in OpenAXR format, and this is 32-bit format only, I think. So we also need to change After Effects to work in a 32-bit workflow. 32-bit has a lot of advantages compared to 8-bit, because you can control much more in the scene, like I said, hotspots and things like that, because everything that goes above white, so white would be in 30-bit 2 in 32-bit scale 1, a value of 1, and everything that goes above 1 you can easily control then with plugins like from Sapphire with the threshold, and you can just simply control those hotspots and really find those hotspots with the threshold, because if I regulate the threshold and say, okay, dear little threshold, please only find the hotspots that go above a value of 1, or only find the lights that go above a value of 1, I can regulate this with the threshold, and this is really a real big advantage of 32-bit. There is also more to it, and I think I saw a nice tutorial from Andrew Kramer from videocopilot.net. He did, I think, a nice introduction to 32-bit in After Effects. You might want to check this one as well, because this is really cool and also helped me a lot. And yeah. I'm not really too satisfied with the reflections here. I don't know. I might also want to make the glass here maybe a little bit more thicker. I don't know if I really like this around here. I would probably change this now. But since everything is set up now and we want to jump into After Effects, we really can look in After Effects what we can do there. There is so much stuff you can do in post work. Even if you have a really messed up shot, you can do so much in After Effects and Nuke. I think I saw an exterior shot once, and they rendered it out, and it really didn't look like something special. I mean, this was really not really a good exterior shot. I mean, they rendered it out with all the layers and then started to comp this completely in Photoshop, and in the end it looked so absolutely perfect. It was really absolutely amazing post work. I might post this link as well if I find this again. This was really cool, so you can really do a lot of stuff in post work. So yeah, I think also the cork material, we should also change this maybe a little bit. This is a little bit too big in scale. We should lower the scale a little bit, but like I said, this might be a matter of taste. And yeah, there are always things you wanna change when you do the first real render. There are always, or might be, things that you still wanna change, and you might just jump in and rotate the lights a little bit around, change the HDRI, change the brightness, things like that. So this might be just something you wanna do if you rendered it out once in the real scale, like 1920 by 1080 in my case. Okay, let's look at the single pass. This looks cool. We can definitely filter out the red color and the blue color now in After Effects. I will show you how to do this. Okay, so this is finished, absolutely perfect. I think also save this. Let's save the file. File save. Okay, let's close this. No. And this will be also closed. Okay. Let's jump right into After Effects. And I think I will use the Sapphire plugins a little bit for this one. I think just one Sapphire plugin. Anyway, let's go to Project and let's change this from 8-bit to 32-bit because we're working in a 32-bit workflow. We have a 32-bit workflow. Let's go to Tutorials and let's go to Alice. Alice Tut. Okay, let's make a new composition. Okay, and let's also drop in the alpha. This should be an alpha, I think. Interpret footage. This is really weird. Didn't I save out the alpha right now? I think I should have. I should not have closed Cinema4D that early. Okay, let's try it with a channel mixer if I get anything out, but I don't think so. This is really weird. Nope. Okay, let's open this up with Photoshop. So I can have a closer look at the channels, if there are any channels in there. Tutorials, Alice. There it is. I don't know. Okay, I will just simply save it out like that. As an. Oh, please go away. As a TIFF. Okay. Okay, so here we are now with our alpha channel, and what we wanna use is a channel mixer. In German it's called Kanal Mixer. It's channel. I think it's channel mixer, probably in English. And what we can do now, a really problem is, I should have also given this chord, the cap, those two labels also a blue color, so this would be much way easier to filter it out, and I think I can't manage to filter this out right now. But as you can see, we can create with the channel mixer an alpha channel. If I click here now on, okay, like I said, this isn't really working right, I think. But as you can see, we can create an alpha channel, and but I should have also given those things a different color. And now we would have our alpha channel, and now we can just simply do a luma or an alpha mask or whatever, and this would work pretty well for us. And yeah, so you know how to do it. Now you know how to create an alpha channel and how to create control several parts of your image, and just do it the right way when you render it out. Give the things the right color, then it will be way easier to get rid of some colors in the channel mixer. So what I want to do now here right now is I want to create a curve. I always begin with a curve, and I will add a little bit more light. I'm not sure how much more. I'll also control this here a little bit. Could add here a little bit more saturation. Maybe something like that. We could also change this around here a little bit to something like this. Yes. Okay, now we can add a sapphire lightning glint. And let's control the threshold right here. And as you can see, Sapphire plugin already found those two hotspots. I don't really like the size. We need to decrease the size for sure. Maybe to something like that. And now we also decrease the brightness to maybe something like that. So we get a little bit of glow right here. We could also do a little bit more brightness, but this wouldn't look too realistic, I think. Maybe just something like that. Okay, let's take this composition Unterkomposition erstellen. I don't know what it's really called in English. Just drop it into a new composition. All attributes to new composition, yes. Effects, magic bullet looks, and edit. Let's drop in a chromatic aberration. Let's go to lens, chromatic aberration. Red sign I will probably go with 0.32. 0.32, yes. So a little bit, and we could also drop in a vignette. We can see how this looks like, but I don't really know if I like it. Let's change the radius a little bit, and let's do it something like that. Yes, this looks okay to me. Okay. We could also use, I don't think I really like the vignette. I don't know. Let's change the radius a little bit, just slightly. Okay. What else could we use? Anything else that would make sense? We could also add some scratches to this. Video Copilot Optical Flares. There are some nice scratches. Let's change the render mode from on black to over original. We could also use maybe a flare, something like that. Maybe. No, I don't really want to have a flare. Okay, let's go to options. We can take the first flare right here. Let's click everything here away, so we don't have any flare. And now we can go to lens texture, and now we can choose some dirt textures right here. Dirty, dodgy, or dodgy, yeah, or grainy, or a grime. I think I will go for a messy one. And now let's decrease the scale just a little bit of imperfection. Okay. And I think we can leave it at this. Like I said, I don't really like the cork too much. We should change the scale here a little bit. I might also want to get rid of this one area light, or maybe make it a little bit not so strong. Maybe change the intensity and rotate it a little bit more. And maybe also we need to scale the liquid a little bit more up. But you can do this on your own. I would normally do this. I mean, this would take like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour longer. But I just wanted to show you how to do this, how to set up a nice scene and get some nice lighting, get some realistic lighting. And I hope it's really realistic enough for you guys. And I hope you really enjoyed this and liked this. So this was another Curse Studio tutorial. I wish you a nice day. I hope I can do more tutorials in the next weeks, also with Silverwing. Please join me on Facebook if you want to. This would be really nice. As I said, I'm also giving away free materials and sometimes free scenes, stuff like that. I also wanna make a little bit of advertisement for Silverwing Vfx. because he just released a really great product, and I think you all should check it out. It's called Lightning Essentials, and he released it I think with some Italian guy together. I don't know what his name is right at the moment. I'm searching for the video right now. I think he uploaded it somewhere. Just give me a second. Yeah, here we go. I will show you this little promo video right here. You can also watch this video on his site. But you have some really nice lighting setups, and you also get some really nice bonus scenes. And I think this is really worth a check out. This guy does some amazing stuff, and I think it's only 99. So if you wanna know more about lighting setups and things like that, this would be definitely the package to check out. So here you have the bonus content, and this is also the second bonus content. You also get some really nice V-Ray materials. They look absolutely perfect. I don't think you can do it any better. So yeah, this was my little advertisement. I normally don't do that, but since Silverwing is really a great friend and helped me a lot, and I do this, and this is a really nice package, and I wouldn't do an advertisement for this if this wouldn't be something great. So yeah, check this out as well maybe. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.